Ian worked with the Ministry of the Environment. He started there in 1985 and until January 2009. He started off as a systems analyst and worked his way up into creating more or less his own positions with the ministry. Ian loved his backyard here. He also loved the cottage. As a young man, Ian went and joined up for Boy Scouts and saw it all the way through and became an Eagle Scout, and that sort of set his love for the environment and love for nature. And our cottage was up close to Algonquin Park. He loved canoeing, and he was like any other guy. It's a guy thing, I guess, but he was a man with a chainsaw in his hand, so he's always prepared. Be prepared was one of Ian's mottos, along with be a good citizen. And that was sort of how Ian lived his life, always doing the right thing, always loving, it was all about the journey for Ian and doing the right thing. And the environment was utmost, so important to him, and he loved his job. We often talked about me retiring, and I would bring this up every few months. And Ian said even if we won the lottery, he did not think he would retire because he loved his job so much. He loved working with the people that he worked with, and he took great pride in mentoring some of the younger employees of the ministry. Ian was very active, as some of you may know, in the ministry. He played on the baseball team, Gang Green, and he loved that, and he played hockey. And he played hockey just a few years ago, and when he got home from the game, he confessed to me that he thought he should have been working out a little bit more before he actually put on the skates, because he was really out of shape. And he curled for several years out at the Leaside rink and loved the curling. Ian he loved life. He just loved life. And although his, years were short, he packed a lot in his 55 years. And every day he woke up a happy camper. And he would get up, and he was an early riser. He'd greet each day with a smile, and he would come home and he'd be happy. Even if it was a bad day at work, he'd walk in the door, "Hi, I'm home, and what shall we do for supper tonight?" It was always just a love of life. When Ian passed away, I was really quite overwhelmed with how many people commented and came over and to make me aware of everything that Ian had done for them. And the lists were quite long, and that ranged from the neighbors, from his relatives, from associates from many, many years ago, and some folk that I had completely forgotten about. They all had a list of things that Ian had done for them, and he went out of his way to make everybody else's life just a little bit easier and a little more pleasant if he could. That was what Ian was about.